Okay, let's go.
Well, hi, friends of Coachella Valley. Jose here from The New Mindset. Well, I have a very interesting episode today. Here, sitting with me, is a fantastic human being. She has had quite the career. And in the past, I'd say week or so since we met, I've studied your work and I'm fairly impressed. I mean, your songs are amazing. So anywho, I'll let you introduce yourself, your first and last name.
Thank you so much, Jose. It's a pleasure to be on this amazing show in the Coachella Valley. We don't have that much, we don't have that many radio stations and going on and podcasts out here. So it's amazing to see what you're doing, and it's a pleasure to be invited on. And my name is Danni Stefanetti.
So my first question right off the bat. I mean, your last name is so beautiful, so unique.
Thank you.
Where is your last name from?
Well, I'm born in Australia, in Perth, Australia, but my father's side is from Italy. So that's where the Italian name spaghetti or Stefanetti comes from.
Can you cook pasta?
Yes, I can.
Stop.
I can do
From
gnocchi.
Scratch?
Yes, I've done gnocchi.
Okay.
My nonna taught me how to make gnocchi
I
from scratch.
grab the noodles and I break them in half. And I'm just kidding.
It's quite the process, and so
I've
is the
seen
tomato
it.
sauce.
But you gotta make the egg and make the flour. And, oh my gosh, that's the time.
It's a pretty fun process.
I mean, you gotta put the love in it, right? That's
exactly.
kind of the whole point.
I still can't make it quite like my nonna. She's got it.
I don't think anyone else can. I don't think I can cook quite like mine. I cook my grandmother's dishes.
Right.
But when I try them, they don't taste like
exactly.
taste like I made them. So, let's talk about your past a little bit more. So, you grew up in Australia. Tell us more about where you grew up. What type of environment was it? Did you have a family where you were like sisters, siblings?
Yeah, I had a younger brother.
Okay.
Chris, and he was more into sports. My mum and dad aren't musicians, but they gave me from the age of 8 when I gave up dancing and I started playing guitar. Okay. My parents I kind of made a music room and an art room, and I would just go off for.
So you're 8 years old when you kind of started
the guitar
in that path. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it would lead into songwriting and singing and all of that. Wow. I just knew that I found a great guitar teacher, and that was the first step.
When you say playing guitar, now explain to me a little bit, because I'm an amateur at playing guitar. Yep. You know, I can. If you tell me the chord, I'll probably be able to play the chord, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I understand that there's different styles of playing. What style did you learn first? Was it like a more acoustic, like soft? Was it like metal? Was it what type?
Well,
what did you learn?
My first guitar teacher had quite an eclectic taste. He taught me songs all the way from Metallica riffs to the Eagles to Led Zeppelin to the Beatles, and all types of different riffs that would. I started on the classical guitar, went on nylon, then went on to acoustic, and then I did it with a different teacher. I got into Hendrix with the electric guitar at about 15 when I moved on from acoustic guitar. But then I got into different tunings, and you know how it is.
Once you kind of discover one talent, you deviate, right?
Exactly.
Your ear starts to pay attention to the things you like, and you start realizing why you like them.
Yeah. Okay. And I was into multi-genre, because there was like elements of, you can learn from strumming to riffs. In different genres, the more scope you have and more songs you learn, cover songs, the more you open your ears to what you want to make. And I think that helped me in my songwriting. Okay, this is going to be a weird question. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a cinephile, which means that I'm into movies. Yeah. I've watched Amadeus a billion times. And in that movie, Mozart listens to a tune and picks up what's wrong with the tune. Is that something you would consider, that you kind of have an ear for things? Because as I understand, people that play guitar have an ear for imperfections. Would you say that's a true statement? I mean, I've always played guitar by ear. I'm not like a theory person.
Oh, okay.
Same with singing. If they put me in a choir, I wouldn't be able to read the notes, but I can sing the harmony, or I can sing the melody after listening one time from a recording. Fantastic. But I can't see it on paper, so I would fail music, you know. but I can write the music. I write a song and write the chords or music. Notice the errors. No, I more notice what I like in a song instead of focusing on the bad points. But I guess if I write a song, I'll find the errors in that, but not really in someone else's work. I'll more just find what I like about it. Yeah.
I see. You said that you started in dancing.
Yeah.
So were you always into the spotlight? Were you always kind of in the feel of wanting to perform in front of people?
No, dancing wasn't my thing. I was a daydreamer as a child, and I wasn't very good at it. Like, really, my muscle memory
was not in par.
It just wasn't on
5,
par
6,
with the other
7,
girls.
8 didn't ever.
I was always last. It just wasn't my thing.
No.
So no, I didn't want to be in the spotlight. And what was cool about the guitar and songwriting is I would always put myself down as a singer as well. Like, I'd be like, no, I'm not a singer.
Oh my God. Have you heard your song?
Thank you.
Really good.
But that improved as the years went on. But I would kind of just always hide behind the guitar. It was like my little safety net
I see.
in school.
Yeah,
so it wasn't the spotlight.
Okay.
It was more just like something that made me kind of fit in. Yeah, I didn't know it would turn into what it turned into.
Were you in school when you were learning guitar? You were little. You were 8 years old.
Yes, exactly.
So then you went through school and you kind of paid more attention to that, I'm assuming.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You didn't do sports. You focused on your art.
I was a runner. I loved cross country. Yeah, I did really well in running.
What?
Yeah, but
awesome.
And art, I was really into art. But apart from those two, I ended up leaving school halfway through year 12 to pursue music. My grades were, I just wasn't really focused at all in wanting to be there anymore. And my grades started changing because I was out
happens so much. You know, some people some people are great. I don't know if bookworms is the correct word anymore, but some people are really good at focusing on schoolwork and and they can get it done. And other people are focused on their art and they can get that done.
So,
it's a fair...
I kind of couldn't wait to get out of there so I could do my music.
Wow.
And my parents backed me, which was great.
That's amazing. So when you left, what was the first thing you did? So you know that you knew that tomorrow you're gonna leave school and focus on your thing. What was that thing? What was it that you focused
it was more when I was 12 years old. I was going on local TV shows in Perth, and I was performing in Tamworth and Sydney, and I was going on different states and playing on stages for a very young age at 12.
Wow.
Given opportunity. Yeah, I was given opportunities, and then I got a Glenn Shorrock scholarship when I was about 17. So I just left school, and then all these opportunities were coming up. I was opening for big artists, rock artists in the Australian scene. Yeah. So I didn't really have any downtime. I came straight out of school to going in a recording studio, putting down my music, and then next thing I know, I was touring or performing at different venues throughout. I was doing weekly shows in Perth, and I was making a living out of it.
So what was? I'm going to take you back to your first time performing, your very first gig.
Oh, I can't even remember what that was.
So what failed? What was it? What was the first day jitter? What was the problem with that day one?
It was probably a talent show at school. That was my first performance, I would say, unless it was in front of my family members, like my cousins and everybody. But I would say it was probably I think it was grade 5. I did the end of year talent show, and I brought out the guitar, and everybody wasn't expecting it. And it was a song I wrote called Friends.
Okay.
And and I think that was probably one of my first performances, and I got such a great reaction. It was like, wow, that wasn't as hard as I thought, you know? Because I thought I'd get really nervous.
And people really got into it, I'm sure.
Yeah, so that was probably the first time I realized there was something there. But I didn't think much of it, except it came with ease. It was like I never had to try at music. It was always...
Did you feel like you belong?
Even as... From my first few lessons with my guitar teacher, I was already writing songs. It felt just natural. And my mum obviously saw what was going on, and she just was like, Danni, do your thing, be yourself. Like, she really backed me.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Your parents really supported that because they must have seen something that you didn't yet.
No, I was oblivious. I was always in my own little world. I mean, I'd go off for 9-10 hours. I mean, I'd come back at dinner time if I come back at dinner time, because I got a song in my head and I want to work out this guitar solo.
Wow.
I didn't really go to parties. I was a bit of a hermit.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes that's what you do when you're perfecting that craft. I mean,
I became very obsessed with the guitar and all the elements of it.
Fantastic. At what point did you go from, all the little small gigs to your first big gig? Would you say that was an easier transition? Or did you find any difficulty in that?
I guess it went from family barbecues to talent quests to open mic nights to bars to restaurants, then to festivals, and then to bigger stages.
How did you feel that each step going up? Did you even feel it, or did it just feel like normal to you?
My biggest one was it 12? Well, before, this is like my first biggest stage. I remember I was singing on the street. It's called busking.
Okay.
In Australia.
Okay.
I think you call it street performing.
Mm-hmm.
There was this country music festival in Tamworth, and I was 12 years old with a cowboy hat on, singing my own songs on a street corner at the festival.
That's awesome.
And I remember one of the managers or something of a band came up with the Wolverines, which are like a bikey, like country group, rock group. Okay. They said, tomorrow we need an opener. Would you like to come up on the motorbike and sing a few songs? Awesome. And that was in front of 10,000 people, and I was 12. So that was probably my biggest first, like, whoa.
That is amazing. You know what?
It was really out of there.
Very few people could say that at the age of 12.
It was really fun, and there were moments, and I always got those moments when I didn't expect it as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
do you ever feel like you're back in that moment? You know, that first performance with a big audience, you get those butterflies. I don't know if you ever got those. I got to be in theater, so I got to feel those every time before I went out. I get those butterflies. They always made me nervous, but it's a good nervous. It's kind of like I'm going to do the best I can do. Do you ever find a moment that you go back to from when you first begun and remember that? What's that moment, if you have one?
You know, I get butterflies kind of like after my performance when I get an adrenaline rush of, oh my gosh, I feel so good after that. It gives me, whatever the audience gives me, I get that straight back. It's just this feeling, it's mutual. But my last time I actually got butterflies was at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. And Coachella Valley has been great to me. I've been here less than a year when I moved out here. And I got invited a couple of hours, like midday, I was performing it was about 2 o'clock. I was performing at a different stage at Indian Wells. Wow. And I got invited to sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, and that's awesome.
My agent called me and said, would you like to sing it? I said, oh sure. I mean, I didn't know it yet. So at 7 o'clock, we're going to get you
didn't even know it yet.
We're going to get you on Stadium 1. I said, okay, I'll be there. I've just got to finish my show upstairs, and then I'll be right down. I'll memorize it. Wasn't allowed words in front of me because it was televised with the drones. Oh my gosh. And I said, oh, but by the way, where are you putting me? And I said, in the middle of the Stadium 1. I said, I better not stop. And then we're going to set off the fireworks at the end. So I did get butterflies with that one.
Oh, yeah.
I was standing there at sound check. You know how they put the mic in front of you?
Of course.
And 100%. I went, how do I start the song again?
Oh, no.
16,000 people is in that stadium. You know,
and everybody watching.
It's a very big stadium. The capacity of it. Yeah, that was a lot.
You hit it. You hit it off the park.
Yeah, thankfully I remembered it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And the best part, I think, is you conquered something you didn't even know the song. You're amazing. That was scary. That was probably my scariest moment I've ever had. That speaks to your character. Oh my goodness gracious. What an amazing story. Well, let me cut to a quick commercial.
Sure.
When we come back, let's talk a little bit more what's going on today and the Coachella Valley and how you're involved in it. At every episode, I make sure my guest has my favorite drink in hand, BuzzBox. My favorite is the perfect margarita, and today we invited somebody from headquarters, Alicia, to tell us what her favorite is and why.
Hi, I'm Alicia here at BuzzBox headquarters, and if you ask me what my favorite cocktail is, I'd have to say the Tequila Paloma. From the sweet grapefruit to the zing of the lime, all you have to do is shake the box, pour it over ice, and it's ready to drink. Like having your very own bartender, BuzzBox is ready to serve you.
So if you don't already, follow us on Instagram at The New Mindset OTCV. You'll find our link tree with the direct link to our code for a 20% off on your next purchase.
Wow.
Find your flavor today. Now let's get back to the show. And we're back. So, Danni.
Hi.
Today you are let's call you a local performer.
Yes.
And so what is the focus of today? What are your gigs? How do you book them? What's the situation? How do you do it?
Yeah, a lot of my shows I perform throughout Palm Desert, Palm Springs. I've had the privilege of playing at the Palm Springs Art Museum all the way to Kitchen 86 and El Paseo, throughout a lot of the exclusive country clubs, and I love it out here. Boy, I've had such a good time playing to the crowds out here. And Indian Wells Tennis Garden was a big highlight. Yeah, I got a lot of clients now that really respect my music, and I love being out here. It's a great vibe, great energy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and you have quite a unique voice to it. How would you categorize the type of music that you write? Mm-hmm. Where does it fall into? What category of music? would you call that?
I would say I'm a multi-genre artist. I have elements of country, rock, pop, blues, and gospel in my style. But then sometimes I throw in a bit of jazz influences or chordings.
Yeah.
But it really depends on the project, because like I've written for film and different things, and I just I love to incorporate all my styles.
That's cool.
But I would say I'm like a summer rock artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, singer-songwriter. I would say summer rock.
What is the song stuck in Danni Stefanetti's mind right now? What's the song that you listen to it and it's stuck in your head right now? What is that?
Like a cover song?
A song, any song. What's the song that's stuck in your head today?
Well, right now I can hear jazz music behind me. Let's say the Eagles' "Peaceful, Easy Feeling," because it reminds me of the desert. You know.
Have you heard that story of the Eagles? How they got their name?
No.
Okay, I don't know if this is true. The Eagles were riding, Hotel California. They were out here in Joshua Tree area.
Oh, wow.
And they were looking up at they were coming up with the name for the band, and they're kind of, exploring, and they're looking at the sky and stuff. And then they saw this bird fly down and like swoop up an animal. And they were like, "Oh, that's a cool eagle." And the guy, the leader, was like, "Oh, that's it. That's her name, Eagles."
Oh,
and the thing about it is, eagles don't fly that low.
Right.
They're not that low to
No.
So that could only have been either a crow or a hawk. Good thing they didn't know what it was, because they were quoting the hawks or the crows. That would be
sounds
interesting.
more like a football team.
I'll tell you, it wouldn't quite work. So the Eagles, they have such a rich history. What would you say is your era that you listen to when you need to zone the world out and you just listen to music? What era is the era that you go to?
I have all different kind of Spotify playlists, whether it's I listen to a lot of rainfalls and that tranquil kind of music, just on downtime, and podcasts. Great. And I love a bit of like Jason Mraz and that kind of, that acoustic.
Very soft acoustic feel, like a beach type of feel. Oh, I love some Jason Mraz.
Yeah, and I really love listening to Peter Frampton and some of those rock and roll riffs too.
Yes, of course.
That's my favorite.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a good playlist. You can make so much with just a few of those riffs put together.
Right.
And really listen to it, and just like Jason Mraz is just a top one.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have today an artist that you look up to? And I feel like you yourself are your own artist, and looking up to yourself is very important. Do you have a person within the entertainment field that you'd be wanting to like meet or get to know or talk to, or like just kind of respectfully like their music? Is there anybody that comes to mind that you'd ever want to kind of chat with, talk to?
Yeah, I would probably say Joe Walsh. A big fan of his playing, and Dolly Parton. I think she's had such an incredible career in all elements.
100%.
She's almost like a little actress, but she's got a big repertoire as a songwriter and as a performer. And she's even got Dolly Land. So I really look up to her career.
Every time I go to my day job, I think of 9 to 5, and I start playing the song in my repertoire.
I think she's beautiful.
Amazing people.
Yeah.
By the way, you definitely have a style that you push, and it's very I would call it like a white aura, right? It's very like nice and very beautiful aura.
Thank you.
How did you find your style? What did you have to go through to get to it? Did you kind of just know it off the top of your head, or did you kind of discover it as you went?
When I look at some of my earlier recordings, 12 to 15, I have some videos I've put out there. And when I was doing a lot of Christian music, and I listened back to some of those gospel songs, and it was like I'd lived it, I lived a hard life. I was singing some of these Christian songs really were like some pretty touchy subjects. And I definitely had a style, even at that age, with these open tunings and my voice. Obviously, it's matured over the years, but my voice did have its own kind of thing. And as much as I've tried to take the country out of that little twang out of my voice,
nice.
I've never been able to get rid of it. So I just ended up keeping it.
There you go.
You just got to do what works with yourself, whether that's your guitar playing or you're singing or you're writing. And I've just made that into my own thing, because if I tried to get out of that, it doesn't feel as authentic.
Got it.
So I think I just kind of fell into what works for me, but that might not work for someone else.
Yeah, it
but,
sounds like you kind of understood your being as it was speaking, let's say.
Yeah.
And you sat into it and said, okay, this is it. This is my moment. Oh, it's beautiful. You keep mentioning country, so I'm just gonna ask you, what's your country song?
So many.
It's a tough one, huh?
Yeah. Man, I feel like a woman motion I played. With that leopard print. Oh,
that's awesome. Big shout out, of course. Yes. I always go to like Zac Brown Band. I have a weakness for them.
Yes.
I forgot the name of the song. No, it's oh my gosh. I'm never gonna remember it because there's so many. But there's this one song from them that they sang about dropping off your kids somewhere.
Right.
And, Highway 20 Mile or something. Okay. I think it's called Highway 20 Mile. It's got this tune to it. But you're right. There's that twang, that country thing behind it.
Yeah.
Because some country singers nowadays sound almost pop, but they have that essence of country.
Yeah.
It's very unique and very beautiful. I don't know what it is, but it just has a beautiful ring to it.
Right.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And I love Elvira by Oak Ridge Boys, and I'm going to be in their new video. So
are you really?
Yeah, with Kid Rock and a couple of other people.
Stop!
So,
no way!
Fun shoot.
That's do you?
Big fan of that song. Theirs.
Do you shoot your own? No, you have a team behind you.
Well, sometimes I shoot them out here in the desert, but that Oak Ridge Boys one was actually done in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah. I flew out there for that. Yeah.
And do you? Wait, hold on. Before I ask you about the future, let's cut to a good commercial.
Sure.
And when we come back, let's talk about what's coming up next in next 5-year plan. All right, let's do it. This week's episode of The New Mindset is brought to you by Jeff Mo. Here to tell us more about it is Ozzy, one of the owners. Take it away, bro.
Jeff Mo CBD is a brand based in Southern California. Are you dealing with pain, anxiety, inflammation, stress, and more? Make sure to check us out at jeffmocbd.com. Each batch of our product is lab tested for potency and pesticide. Certificates of analysis can be viewed by going to jeffmocbd.com. So don't panic, it's organic.
All right, and we're back. So, Danni Stefanetti, how do I ask you this following question? So the future is, for many artists, as big as you can think of it and as small as you can plan for it, because there's a big difference.
Yes, it is.
So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. What future project do you have within the next month that you can talk about to us?
I want to start releasing more of my Danni's Diamonds album. We've been doing single by single, and I want to get back into recording and maybe making a bit more faith-based music or with elements of rock. And I'm just kind of in a mood to write again, and when September comes I'm going to be performing a lot out in the desert, so I'm excited to get into a kind of meet more people, more artists and more businesses out here in the desert and see where I fit a little bit more. And I'm still so new here, so I'm just excited to connect with more like-minded people, and I think that's the goal for me moving forward. I really never know what the next project is with this kind of industry. I just want to put some more music out there and see what doors God opens. That's kind of, I'm kind of like putting it in his hands.
Got it.
But I'm ready to put in the work and work hard at it.
Of course.
But I just want to not try in my own strength as much. That's my
absolutely.
goal.
Yeah, I do understand that, because you really got to trust. Yeah, some people call it trust the Lord, trust the process, trust it. And the reality is same thing, plan all that you can and dream big, because you never know when the outside force kicks in.
Right.
Whatever it is that your outside force is. Do you in talking about your future projects, so I didn't know that thing about the episodes. How big is your album? Since you've been dropping song by song.
I think there's like 10 or 11 songs on it. So we've released 2. You Got Me Thinking of You and The Timing Was On.
By the way, I've been listening to it. I used one of your songs for your trailer.
Oh, great.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So I was listening to that one, then the next one. And my list automatically sent me to like my top, Teddy Swim and Justin Timberlake's
cool.
The Tiny Desk. And I got to tell you, it is what I love about your music is that it's easy to pick it up.
Thank you.
It really is. It's something I know some artists don't like that word, some do, but what I'm trying to say is that if you've never heard of an artist and somebody's like, oh, listen to this song.
Yeah.
And you hear it, sometimes it's like, I don't know. Yeah. But if you just listen to anything and you pick it up right away, I feel like that's better because you can connect to the words, to the feeling, to the emotion you give out.
Yeah.
That to me is more important.
Yeah.
In the long run, that's how you should connect with the artist.
Right.
With their messages.
You want your music and your lyrics to be accessible to everybody, no matter what journey they're going through. And I think that's the goal as a songwriter. We all have that goal.
Oh, man, you definitely are leaving a mark.
Good.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's amazing. So again, in talking about the future, how does the rest of the year look like for you so far, as you know?
I'm getting pretty fully booked. I'm getting a lot of gigs coming in, not fully booked, but getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what else comes in, and I like to perform as much as I can. That's my favorite part, like I think, of the music industry is playing live to people.
Oh my gosh.
And I love it because I just get kids and everybody come up and meet me after the show, and I get such a thrill about playing live. It's the best thing ever. So
when is your next live event, or where can we catch you next that you know of?
I had a big one opening from Mark Farner's American Band. He was the lead singer from Grand Funk Railroad, and that was at Ukaipa Performing Arts Centre. But most of the shows at country clubs are private ones.
Oh,
but
okay.
I definitely post on my website when the public ones come up as well.
And what is your website?
DanniStefanetti.com.
Perfect. Thank you for letting us know. We're definitely going to look into that and make sure that people know where to find your performance. I mean, it really is 100% so worth it. Just picking up your music. Literally, I mean, I can't wait to see what you have. And for those of you that don't know, today we're going to have a very special moment in the behind the scenes and on the lives and stuff.
Yeah.
Danny's going to play a little something, and I'm so excited.
Exactly.
Because I have have an insight on what it is, but I just want to experience it live. Going back to you for just a second. I know that you just moved out here to the Valley. Are you out here with your family, or by yourself?
Yeah, I got family friends out here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so you're out here with family, and are you going to stay in the Coachella Valley?
I hope so.
Is that your plan?
As long as possible. I'm loving it. Yeah, I actually came from Los Angeles. So what a difference, you know?
Slower, right? Slow pace. There's not a lot of traffic to worry about.
So it's just so chill. It's more like Perth out here, and so many venues. I love it.
Oh, I know. It really is so many venues.
Never would have expected it.
Oh my gosh.
Blown away.
You haven't even had a chance to touch the casinos.
No.
Let me tell you.
Getting into that, yeah.
Let me tell you. At some point in time, when we get a chance, we'd love to, the new Mindset Coachella Valley would love to open doors for you and have something ready for you. So
thank you.
we will definitely, I'm very excited to talk to you about the future and then talking about this live show. We can talk about this right now.
Yeah, let's
so
do
we
it.
are planning to do a live podcast. This is the first one I've ever done.
Yeah.
Now, something that my friends, family, my team, and some of our listeners have told me before is like, hey, when are we going to see an actual episode? Because most of the time it's audio. You and I have talked about this actually on the phone. And I've held back because I want to make sure that we have everything on the ground nice and steady, and it looks like we already do.
Yeah.
So the very next normal step would be to actually move to video and audio. So with your help, I want to bring a part 2 to this episide live in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
And just do this.
Oh,
just
fun.
chat.
Yeah.
Talk about your favorite TV show. Figure out where we all are in life. Dropping little bits of knowledge for people to pick up. And I think that'd be something really fun. And to you, the listeners, this is for you. It's the love of the audience and what they like and what they don't like. You know,
exactly.
that kind of helps.
I love that idea.
And that, I think, with you at the helm of that, and our team behind it and your team behind it, I think we're going to have something really good.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah,
and I know I just kind of planted it.
Yeah.
But, that's how you grow, trees. You got to plant seed.
Yeah, I want to see more people coming out to support local music. And it's going to be great.
I think at the end of the day, looking at the future, I would say that from the outside looking in, you definitely have a bright future.
Thank
Your
you
music
so
is so awesome. Discovering that has been quite a journey in the past few days for me.
Yeah.
And it's a journey I've enjoyed.
Oh,
very
thank
much
you.
so.
That's great to hear.
And you really, truly bring something unique to the table. I'll tell you that. If you, the listener, if you haven't listened to her music, let me tell you, you're in for a treat. It's fantastic from the first song to the last.
Aww.
It's just an array of emotions. It's really, really good. And I do hope that you continue to do that. And I don't know, just keep at it.
Thank you. Yeah,
You're doing amazing.
I certainly wear my heart on my sleeve when I write songs.
Yeah, you feel it. And it's felt through and through. And honestly, it's really, really good.
Thank you.
Don't know what to say about that.
Just amazing to hear
Except
that.
you get it.
Aww.
And when you get to Christmas and you do release your Christmas album, if you have to. I hope you have your cover of what's that one song that everybody listens to in November? Mariah Carey's.
Oh
something.
yeah, what one is that?
Oh my gosh!
Now I forgot
Stop.
too.
Oh
I
my
have sung
God.
it before.
It's okay, we're not Christmas. We're good.
It's that main one that
Dun,
she
dun,
sings.
dun.
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Is
All I want for Christmas
all
is you.
I want for Christmas is you.
And that's it. So there's your treat. That's it. You should definitely do a Christmas album. You definitely
Should become a Mariah Carey.
You know what's funny? I listen to your music. I do this with all the artists. I always want to hear what they're gonna do for Christmas and for the festive, because some voices you just want to hear them perform. You sound great at Christmas. Says this guy. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I love it. Yeah, Christmas is a beautiful time of year.
What is your favorite season?
Summertime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With this heat.
Well,
is this your first time experiencing?
Yeah, it is. So I don't know, like summer in the desert, maybe not.
Oh yeah.
Just summer in general.
We just passed
my favorite season,
124-degree weather.
Maybe in the desert, it's more like spring. I like. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, spring is a little everything except these 4 or 5 weird months of heat.
Yeah, right.
It only gets better. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I'm an Australian, so we're kind of used to the heat in the desert.
You've survived so much in Australia.
Yeah.
So I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen things, but I haven't seen things like you have
all
seen
the
things.
insects and spiders.
So I hear. Is that a thing? Is that really?
They say that. Yeah, they do. And the
but
sharks
did you
and
experience
stingrays.
that? Like.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen redbacks outside on
What
the
are
chair
redbacks?
outside.
What's a redback?
They're little spiders. They're tiny, and they got a red back, and they can kill you if you sit on it. Yep. But we're not too we're just like, oh, okay, just brush it off.
Okay. Hey, there you go. See you later.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of snakes.
That's insane.
But,
of course. Yeah, here in the desert, there's so many.
Yeah.
The rattlesnake the other day just kind of zipping by.
I guess we're just immune to it.
At some point, right? I think we all kind of are used to the environment we live in. So you're just kind of like, oh, there's another killer hornet. We're good.
But we do live in normal houses. They're not shacks or anything, like out in the bush,
What?
Some people think like Australians don't live in normal houses. Yeah, I've had that.
Who told you that? Who thinks that? If you think Australians don't have homes,
They're like, do you live out
some
in
of the
bush?
most beautiful homes I've seen in Australia. I remember they have like, don't you guys have the big ceilings? Like you come through the door and it's like a huge.
Some houses, yeah.
Right? That's what I imagine a shack. I don't know what type of movie that came from.
Yeah, I think they're getting that from the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun 6 minutes. Guys, let's cut to the next commercial when we come back. We have a lot of listeners around the world, and you never know who's listening. Sometimes your words are encouraging somebody without even knowing.
Yeah.
So when we come back, let's talk to those ears and let's tell them how they can get into this world.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's cut to it.
Let me tell you about events with the new mindset. We always have the best, and you can't say the best without King Events. Jerry at King Events has always been there for me for every single need that I have. Man, this guy's amazing. But let me have somebody share their story. You can hear it for yourself.
The first time I booked with King Events, I was working at a local jewelry store. We had a mechanical bull on a very busy date, and Jerry was able to accommodate to our needs. The entertainment was great. Working with his team was super easy, and he was there to answer every question we had. I can't recommend him enough. Not only is King Events my go-to for family or business parties, they are also local and family-owned. Call them today at 1-760-238-1692. Again, that's 760-238-1692.
Don't forget to call today. And now let's get back to the show.
All right, and we're back. So, Danny, like I said before, we have very many listeners all across the world. Just recently, we one of our podcast channels, it's FM radio podcast or something like that. They post every quarter the top podcast in your area, around the world, And for the most part in the Coachella Valley, we've come in second place.
Jeez,
and we come in
amazing.
second place because the first place is Fire and Ice. Love those guys. And they're a sports channel.
Okay.
And I feel like there's so many people that listen to theirs and ours.
Yeah.
But maybe, I would incline myself to the sports. But I get it. I understand. But you know what? Thanks to that, we know that we have listeners all around the world.
That's great.
And one of the crazier ones is probably to all our people listening in Germany. I'm going to try to speak German next time. Thank you for listening, because they tune in at the weirdest hours.
Jeez.
But it's because they're in Germany.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of listeners in Germany for some reason. And so thank you. But as I read some comments from our last episode, people are encouraged by, our guests. And I would like to ask you, somebody out there right now is listening to this podcast and they want to know what or how could they get into what it is that you do. They have their passion. They don't know how to explore it. What would you say are steps into coming into this world as a singer-songwriter?
Yeah.
What would be the first, 5 steps? What would you say those are?
I would say the first step would be buying a quality instrument. It doesn't have to be really expensive, but it's just something that fits your body build, like a guitar that just feels good on you, that you actually want to play. Because if the strings are falling off or not working, it makes you feel like you're not a good guitar player, when you actually might be. It just might be the instrument's just not working for you. So that's the first step, finding a good instrument.
That's a good first step. I've never heard that one. That's a good first step.
And then finding a teacher that inspires you. Sometimes theory can depending on your brain, some people can be put off by the theory, some people work by ear. If I was taught by a theory teacher, I would have completely not even gone into guitar. But because the teacher got me into playing by ear, I took to it immediately. So it's finding the right teacher for how you think, how your brain ticks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then not letting any imperfections when you write a song or sing or play. You're going to have a lot of imperfections. You're going to have a lot of people have opinions on whether that's how you look, how you sound, or how you write songs. But don't let any of that bother you. You just got to keep doing it, because until you get all those imperfections out, you're not going to find who you truly are in music. So don't let any of that stop you. And then over time, kind of like it's really important to listen back to your recordings and see like what's working and what's not working. It's the best way to hear it is listen back. So, and then like don't be too critical of yourself, because you should be doing it for the love, and then money comes later. So always do it for the love of it. Yep.
Oh, hit them in the soft spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if money is the number one, maybe take a step back.
Yeah, always do it for the love, because everything else will follow from that.
That's really good. Those are great steps.
I'm sorry. I've never been
Right
asked it like that.
But, that is really, I think you hit every chord. That's truly a good way of explaining how to get into this industry.
Yes.
Find the right tool, find the right mentor.
Yep.
Focus on what you should, what you put into it is what you get out of it, and focus on the right things. That's a fantastic list of you are great.
And also, thank you. And in your circle, allow people that are encouraging of you to be in your circle. But also, ask for criticism if you need it too. That's important to take criticism.
It's hard to accept it. Well, it's hard to hear it.
It is.
Accepting it is the next level of hard,
but
and then understanding it.
Yeah, I think the teacher's the best person to give that critique. It's not really received well from strangers that much, I don't think, or family. We're going to get it from family, because they can be honest with us, right?
You know who we're talking about. It's true. Sometimes your hardest critics are the one closest to you.
Yeah.
I have to say. But, at the end of the day, I believe that we're all accepting of each other.
Right.
Because we understand how hard the craft is.
Yeah.
How easy we can reject it, and how hard it is to get here.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not an easy path. It really isn't.
No.
But if you stick to it,
definitely.
and you keep pushing, it's very rewarding.
Oh, yeah.
All the doors are open, the people you meet,
the
worlds you become a part of, they're insane.
Exactly. And the places that music, anyone in entertainment, if kids is getting into it, like the places that music has taken me has been above my expectations. So the relationships you build and the places you get to go because of your art is amazing too. I never would have thought, I always wanted to move to America one day, but I never thought I'd be gigging in Palm Springs and doing this out here with just me and a guitar. I never think that. With just starting guitar at 8, I brought that guitar and I've been able to build a life because of that guitar. You know, that's just,
that is such a cool.
Like, you know, just moving out of my parents' home was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that one day? You know, but just to do that with an instrument, like, to me, I'm still shocked. You know, I'm like, I got everything I need. I'm like, I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, that's so great. I think, in all honesty, even chatting with you, I got inspired to think about it. Really,
you should.
It's really good listening to somebody that's at the level you're at and be so humble about it.
Thank you.
That's really good and really speaks to your nature. It really does. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, I let's end it here for now. As I said before, we're going to have a part 2 that's live and recorded. And we're going to plan all this out.
Brilliant.
We're going to throw this all to you, the listeners. We do hope that everybody does come and entertain themselves and have fun with this. And we're going to do a lot of giveaways. And we're going to be... what we're planning to do is a very new mindset experience that we do. Now, you don't know this because you haven't been here, but the new mindset experience is where we take our podcast from behind the phone to real life. And you get to meet us. And you get to come and enjoy all the fun we have. And we do a lot of giveaways. We've given out money. We've given out tickets. We've given out whatever. There are our amazing sponsors. I include a few of the different ones in here, like Amazon, Apple, W, Jeff Mo. A lot of them really support all of the stuff that we do because they believe in us, and we're very, very happy to do that. And we reciprocate. We really, truly do appreciate them for everything they do for us. So thank you, and that is my thank you to the sponsors. Danni, it's been such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me on your great show.
Thank you. I mean, you believe it's been 40 some odd minutes. It doesn't feel like it. It's ridiculous. Well, we're gonna cut it short here. We're gonna see you guys at the next one. Can't wait. I was super uber excited.
Oh, it's gonna be even better
it's
live.
It's gonna be so good. Very great. People are not gonna be ready for it. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here. If you're having a great day, have a good night.
Thank you.